only had my camera on for approximately 12 seconds and I'm already melting. Yay for the British heat wave. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chloe, if you are new here, and if you are, I would love you to hit that bright red subscribe button down below. And of course, if you enjoy the video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. So today I have got for you another nursing video, and as always, I am working with the lovely people over at Nurses.co.uk to bring you this video. And the topic that I'm going to be talking about today is getting into nursing at university, because I get so many questions about I want to do nursing, but where do I start? So I thought I would talk you through the process of getting into a nursing degree. And the first part of that process should be research. You really need to do your research. And this goes for all the branches of nursing, because there are 4 different types of nursing. You can train as a mental health nurse, a learning disability nurse, an adult nurse, or a children's nurse. So if you're not 100% sure, do your research. For me, I was kind of umming and ahhing between doing adult nursing and mental health nursing. But when I looked into all the kind of different areas that I could have worked in as an adult nurse, not all of them appealed to me. And obviously when you're training, you're going to have to do placements in all the different areas before you qualify. And I knew that if I ended up in a placement area that I didn't like, I was going to really struggle to complete my degree. Whereas when I looked into mental health nursing, there weren't really any areas that I was like, oh God, don't want to work there. So that's why for me, I went into mental health, because I knew that I was going to enjoy the overall process a lot more than I would have for adult nursing. For example, if all of my placements in adult nursing were in A&E, I would have loved it. But obviously that isn't going to happen. So do your research, make sure you're aware of all the different areas that you could be working in your field of nursing. And although that kind of sounds like a negative, it's actually a really good thing, because it means that you are going to have so much experience that at the end of your training, you're going to go, wow, I didn't think I would enjoy this area, but now I really love it. For example, when I started my training, my plan was to go into prisons when I qualified. I really wanted to work in either sort of standard prisons or high secure units. And now I have completely changed my mind and I'm going into a completely different area. So it's such a fantastic opportunity to have a wide range of experience, but just do your research and make sure you understand what it really involved in being an adult nurse, a mental health nurse, a children's nurse, a learning disability nurse. And this is where Nurses.co.uk can really help you guys out, because they have so many fab resources on their website. I'll link some of my favorites down below, but it's a really great place for you guys to check out. Some of the different styles of nursing, some of the different environments you could work in, and some of the issues currently facing nursing. So definitely go ahead and check out some of the articles that are on their website, because for me, doing your research is the most important part of applying for nursing. You've really got to understand what it is you're getting yourself in for, because that's going to help you further down the line when you're trying to write a personal statement and attend interviews. Really having a thorough understanding of nursing and the issues that face nurses today is going to help you massively. So I would start doing that as early as you possibly can in your kind of application process. The next stage in the process is to choose a university or sort of a group of universities that you want to apply to. Obviously, for some people, your options are going to be limited if you want to stay at home or you want to stay near family, etc. And that's absolutely fine if that's the decision that you want to make. But if you do want to move somewhere else, which is what I did, it's really important to understand sort of the pros and cons of each university, where they're based, the trusts that they are associated with. Because although nursing education is quite standardized in the sense that we all need to do similar things in order to gain registration with the Nursing Council, your experience is going to differ a little bit depending on the university you go to. So it's well worth doing loads of research on the universities before you apply to them. There are a couple of different comparison sites you can actually use to look at different things like cost of living and student satisfaction. So if you've already got a couple of universities in mind and you want to compare them, that is a great resource. Again, I'll link that down below for you to check it out. For me, a big factor in my decision making was looking at the trust that I was going to be training in. So usually different universities will be kind of attached to different trusts. In my case, I had come across SLAM, which stands for South London and Maudsley. And because they're based in central London, they have, I believe, one of, if not the widest range of services in the whole country. So I immediately knew that I wanted to train in SLAM. And only 3 universities send their students to SLAM: Greenwich, South Bank and King's. When I went to visit Greenwich, I wasn't as keen on it, just for me personally. I don't know what it was, but it just didn't, I don't know, it didn't really kind of click with me. And then when when I was choosing between South Bank and King's, I couldn't afford the student halls at King's, which I would have needed to live at because I'd been living away from home. So for me, South Bank was the best option. Wherever you choose to go, you're going to be there for 3 years. So it's well worth putting in the research to make sure it's somewhere that you are going to get the best that you possibly can out of your degree. Because I applied for UCAS, I did apply to 5 different universities. 2 of them I ended up withdrawing from because one of them was Greenwich and one of them was Canterbury, which is my nearest university that I didn't particularly want to go to. So as soon as I got an offer from South Bank, and obviously Greenwich I've already mentioned that I wasn't as fussed about. So as soon as I got an offer from South Bank, I withdrew from those 2. And the same with, I think it was either Edinburgh or Glasgow. I know it was a Scottish university and that's really bad that I can't remember. But I mean, this was like, 4 years ago that I was applying. So again, although it was a great uni, I didn't really want to go that far away from home because I'm from Kent. So again, once I got my offer from South Bank, I withdrew. And then the other 2 I applied to were South Bank and King's, and I got offers from both of them. And then it came down to financial cost that made me choose South Bank. So once you've chosen the universities that you want to apply to, the next stage of your application is going to be your personal statement. For me, a personal statement needs to say 3 things. The first thing is that you thoroughly understand what it is to be a mental health nurse, or whatever branch of nursing you're applying for, what the role of a nurse is and what that kind of job entails. The second thing you should mention is why you want to be a mental health nurse. What was it that made you interested in that field? At what point did you realise you were really interested in it? What have you done to further that interest? And then the third part should be why you are suitable for the role that you've just outlined. What transferable skills do you have that are going to make you a great nurse? Now, if like me, you're going into this straight out of school, it's very unlikely that you're going to have any healthcare experience. Obviously, if you've worked as like a carer or a support worker before, great. Definitely mention that. But I didn't have any experience before, and yet I still managed to get on the course. Because one of the things that I spoke about in my personal statement is transferable skills. So if you've worked in a charity shop or in a supermarket before, you might think that's not relevant to nursing, but actually it shows that you've got great people skills, great communication skills. You could maybe talk about how you worked as a team, or maybe talk about how it helped you to develop your conflict management skills, because you're always going to get some customers that are upset when you're working in supermarkets. So you could talk about how you had to deal with difficult situations. So while working in a supermarket might not sound that relevant to nursing, there are so many transferable skills that you can say you picked up from that job. If I can find my personal statement, I'll try and pop it in the description bar for you. I remember reading it a little while ago when I was helping my niece write her personal statement and thinking, oh my god, this is awful. But I'm not going to change it. I'm going to show you exactly what I wrote, because at the end of the day, I got accepted into universities with that. So it just goes to show you that it doesn't need to be anything amazing. As I said, I studied mental health nursing, but if I can find any personal statements for other branches of nursing, I'll also try and link those down below so you guys can check those out as well. But yeah, all you got to do, 3 things. What do you think a nurse does? Why do you want to do that? And what skills have you got that are going to make you good at that? The next stage of applying to do nursing is, if your personal statement is accepted, then you'll be invited to do a maths and English test. Now, I realise this sounds awful, but it's actually nowhere near as bad as you're expecting. The maths is pretty basic. It's not, algebra, it's Pythagoras, none of that. It's, your basic addition, subtraction, multiplications, divisions. It's nothing complicated. You need at least a C at GCSE maths to get into nursing in the first place, and if you've got that, you will be absolutely fine at doing these maths tests. And as for the English test, all they're looking for is that you can write in sentences and communicate a point clearly, because obviously when you're writing patients' notes, people need to understand what you're saying so that nothing gets missed and patient care doesn't suffer. So they'll probably ask you to write about something completely random. It's not going to be nursing. They're not going to say, how would you care for this patient? It's the kind of thing that's not going to involve any sort of specific knowledge. They just want to check that you can write in a cohesive way that somebody else can understand. And then when you pass those, I'm not going to say if, when you pass those, you will then be invited to an interview, which I've made a whole video about interview advice, so I'll link that up there for you to check it out. And if you don't pass first time, that's absolutely fine, because most universities will invite you to have multiple chances to do so. And that is the whole process of start to finish of getting into nursing at university. But as I said, for me, the really, really key thing is research. You need to be able to show in your personal statement and your interview that you know what you're getting yourself into, you know what you're applying for. You haven't just randomly one day gone, could be a nurse. They want to see that you are committed to this, because at the end of the day, it's not an easy degree. I mean, I don't think there's any such thing as an easy degree, but nursing certainly wouldn't be one of the easier ones. It is a challenge, but it is so worth it. And all you need to show them throughout the application process is that you are dedicated and you know what you're getting yourself in for. So if you are applying to do nursing at university, I wish you the best of luck. And as I said, check out some of the resources from Nurses.co.uk and everything else that I'm going to link in the description bar for you guys, because I feel like it would really help you with the application phase. And I hope to see you all as nurses one day in the future. Don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up, and I will see you again next time.